folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Batman: The Adventures Continue, Issue 5 by DC. Now, there is violence, fighting, shooting, destruction, explosions, and fire in this one. Oh, and death. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's the team. So, when we left off Batsy in issue 4, in issue 4, we're actually with Jason. He was spying on the Joker in this abandoned amusement park. He was on the top of a Ferris wheel. There we go. I forgot the name in the last video. So yeah, Jason was on top of a Ferris wheel, spying on the old Joker. So that's where that ended. And we started this one back in that same spot. We see the Joker inside of I think a fun house, a mirror. A funny mirror house, you know those. So he's in there and he spotted Jason. He doesn't know who that is, but he sees that there's someone who's watching them. Joker's in there with his new partner, something Strength Man, if I read his name correctly. It's this blonde buff guy. He's training with weights as Joker tells him about the intruder. And said, well, it's very cold, let's go invite him in, kind of. We go out to Jason. He's in the Ferris wheel looking around. He's doing some canvassing of the area to see, what he has to deal with. He sees there's no Harley, no hyenas, just the Joker and his one blonde goon. So he's thinking, okay, he pulls up his hood, not this mask, but a hood of a jacket on top. And then he's about to go down when suddenly the Ferris wheel is shaking. And he's like, what? And he looks down and you can see that the blonde guy, Mr. Strength, or Strength Man, is hitting it with his weight to break it. I think the whole park's old and rusted, so it shouldn't be a problem. And it isn't. He does keep hitting it until it breaks. Jason manages to jump down, get away, and then Strength Man's after him. Jason is shooting him, but it looks like the shots have no effect on him, so I'm guessing there's some kind of strength or something, or maybe he's not fully human. At the strength, I mean, either he has, some super tough skin Luke Cage style, or something else. I don't know. But yeah, Jason's like, I shot him a few times, didn't I? And then the Joker comes riding in one of those little bumpy cars, throws a grenade at Jason and grabs Mr. Strength. And he's like, come on, get in. He says some kind of line that Strength Man's like, hey, that was supposed to be mine. Joker's like, get in the car. Well, it explodes as they're driving away, and Jason gets out from under the wreckage. All pissed. Gets out of there, stands up. Then, not long after, it tells us, we see Gordon, Batman, and the police there, checking out, I guess people heard that explosion. When they go to check it, and he said that, they heard explosions, and that the Joker was there, because later he was seen on some other street, driving in his little car. Batman gets closer to the wreckage, examines it, and with some kind of a stick or something, pulls out the gun that Jason left. Takes it with him, and then he's back in the Batcave, on his back computer. Alfred arrives with dinner, saying, "Sir, I took the liberty of heating your dinner since you weren't coming." And he's like, "Well, did you check the gun? Do you know who it belongs to?" And he's like, "No, no prints on the gun, but I know who the bullets belong to. They belong to Jason Todd." And Alfred's like, "It's impossible." But no, it is. It is Jason Todd. Bruce tells him, "I've checked it so many times. It's him. But how is it possible? We know he's dead." Before I get into it, and here he dies a different way. Not like in the continuity of the comics back then, anyway. But it's impossible, and he bets, he says, "Well, it's the only thing, it's the only thing that makes sense. That's how their stalker, him, knew so much about them. Could anticipate their moves and everything else." Which makes sense. And then suddenly Tim barges in. And he's like, "I knew it. All the clues led to someone, that used to belong to our team." And Batman's like, I'm not dealing with this right now. I need to go. And Tim is angry. He's like, "Bruce, you have to explain this to me. I'm your partner. You can't just..." And then Bruce tells him, "Alfred, you tell him everything." And he jumps into his Batmobile and goes. Then Alfred and Tim go up to the terrace. They leave the Batcave. They're there. And Alfred starts the story. And he says that it all started with the Wolf Gang. Or it all started with wolves. And Tim's like, "Wolves?" So there used to be this wolf gang in Gotham. They're very scary. Their leader was a psychopath that called himself Alpha. And what he would do with new initiates, the Cubs, is they would have to wear, this rubber mask, but instead of it being black, it was not a ski mask, it was red. So they wore the little red hood. And they were the last to leave a scene of a robbery. That was the initiation. They had to warn against a robbery. And so it happened that they had a new initiate that warned them, and he was supposed to be the last one to run off. But as he was getting down the fire escape, some levels broke, and the poor boy fell to his death. And you see the police checking the body and Batman there. Now, this was the time after Dick Grayson left to go on his own way and became Nightwing. So Alfred says, "I believe Master Bruce was overworked." So, but still, this gang was a problem, and Bruce is going to get into it and investigate. And he went to their place, but someone already beat him to it. And as he got into the club that they were in, and the bar that they inhabited, there was already a young boy there fighting them off. Like all these grown men, twice his age, twice his size, he was, beating them. And quickly the wolves realized this was a disadvantage to them. Jason's fighting them, and then he grabs a gun that one of the gang members drops. He's about to, looks like, shoot, but Batman grabs him. And so that was how they met. Then later, I imagine they arrested the gang, or the police was called. We learned that this boy that went to the initiation was Jason's brother. In this case, Jason is again an orphan, but has a brother. And it's just the two of them. The brother wanted to make some money by joining this gang. And ended up dying, so now Jason wanted to take revenge. I mean, he already had many gripes with the world, but, well, you can imagine this one. And also his role model, you see his room where he is full of Batman pictures. And also pictures of Batman's villains. And so Alfred believes that, it was more Bruce not wanting to be alone in this. Why he took Jason under his wing. and invited him to the Batcave and started training him as Robin. Now, Barbara was there at the time, but not as much as she is now with them. And so she, they both saw that, yeah, Jason was very promising, as talented as Dick Grayson in his age, but he was also very, much more violent. Quite a lot, because you see him training and he, breaks the head of the doll, and Jason would start, looking at the Robin costume and really, really wanted to be Robin. And Alfred was concerned, and he talked to Bruce about it. Bruce said, he'll wait until he's ready. I had that talk with him. But then there's this incident with Firefly that Alfred suddenly goes down and the costume is missing, and Jason joins Bruce in fighting, and of course Bruce is very angry afterwards. There's a clash between them that Alfred has to stand between them. But Jason says, all I'm asking is for you to give me a chance. And Bruce agrees, blinded by the signs, as Alfred says. But then, sometime after that, things escalate more. Jason's very talented, but he seems to have an inclination to punish the villains they're fighting. The more vicious and evil the villain, the more vicious the punishment, it seems, that he inflicts. When they fight that villain with the puppet, I don't know his name, but he breaks the puppet's neck, and another one he pulls a whole emergency fire escape staircase on, and so forth. And then there's one Halloween incident where the Scarecrow uses this signal to induce fear in everyone, and they can't do anything, and they're trying to, and I'm not trying, everyone's terrified, and his skeleton crew goes around and robs people as this is happening. But then, and then he breaks, the window. He's in a news station, and he says, "Come on, Gotham, let me hear your screams." And then, Jason jumps in and says, "Trick or treat." That was actually a nice entrance. And Barbara's like, "What did we say about, making this, a quiet entrance to protect everyone?" And Jason's like, "I couldn't resist." Well, anyway, Barbara's up to take care of the signal. The reason it's not affecting the three of them is because they have something that blocks the signal. I don't know if they're wearing something. I didn't exactly get how the signal works there. Is it through hearing it or through what? But anyway, Jason's the one that ends up fighting with Scarecrow. And he gets really vicious. He goes, because Scarecrow's prepared for this, and he has a bomb with the scare gas, but Jason kicks it out of his hand, and you think, that would be it. But no, he grabs it, and then he starts, how about we scare you? And he rips off his mask, and he takes this, and he punches him. And then Jason's like, "Let's hear you scream." And he throws him out of the window. Mind you, the news camera's picking this all up. And the Batman, of course, rushes over and with his grappling hook thing, manages to save Scarecrow. And he's like, "Jason, well, what are you doing? You could have killed him." And Jason's like, "Well, maybe that would finally send a message that we're serious." And you see Harley and Joker somewhere watching the telly and say, "Yeah, we get it." And Harley's like, "I know the name of a good shrink." That was funny. So then later, of course, Alfred again talks to him about it, and Bruce is like, "No," and this was probably the toxin affecting Jason. Bruce, not Batman, Bruce would not accept it. But Alfred wouldn't drop it. He went to test Jason's costume to see if there was any fear toxin on it. And no, but Bruce also went to check it, and yeah, Jason actually did that. Not through the gas causing that reaction. And so they really have no choice but, Bruce has no choice but to accept it. But then Jason arrives, and like, I knew it. You never trusted me. You never did this, that, and the other. And then he's like, that's it. He's leaving. He goes, he grabs, it seems like, his cape. And then he goes to a motorcycle. Bruce is after him, but Jason turns around and kicks him and then leaves on the motorcycle. And that's it. He's gone. And then... wait... I think Alfred keeps narrating a bit more after that. I think after that, Jason disappeared. Yeah, there we go. Okay, final encounter with his wayward Robin. And then up until then, it was the most bittersweet tragedy of the Bat family, or of the Batman's career. There we go, okay. And then I'm not sure exactly what happened. Like, it seems like Jason went away for a while, and then there was that encounter with the Joker, which afterwards the Batman was sure Jason was dead. But like I said, they changed the story. It's not like it was there, and then the whole... I don't think there was anything with the Lazarus Pit in this one, it seems. But anyway, so that's it. Alfred finishes the story and says, like, until now, I thought it was the most bittersweet tragedy in Batman's career. Then Batman, we see him arrive in his Batmobile in the same bar that they met in all those years ago. And he goes in, and my first thought was, why are there alcohol bottles in there? Because, okay, this place has been clearly abandoned, so why the fuck is it stocked up? We'll get to that later, but I was like, well, why? Why are there bottles there? Someone's still going there? Anyway, Jason is sitting at the bar. He turns around. He's wearing, of course, the Red Hood and many know. His helmet. So he kind of turned that symbol of that, from a victim to, a killer in this case. So, Jason and Bruce talk. Jason, where were you? I looked for you. I thought you were gone. And Jason's like, yes, I know. I purposefully disappeared. And again, there seemed to have been something there, and then an encounter with the Joker, after which I guess Bruce was sure that he was dead, but it was actually alive and just went under the radar and tried to figure out who he was for a while. And I guess came up with the Red Hood. So they continued to talk, and Jason said, Bruce, you never saw me through the eyes of Batman. Because if you did, you would have seen the signs that I wasn't fit for this, that it just wasn't it. That you could have, prevented this from happening. Well, prevented, you know what I mean. You could have done something. But you never see it. Not Batman, you, Bruce, would always look the other way of the people's faults, the people you cared about. You would look away from their faults, and, here we are, and still you think that you can save me. But, that's not what I want, Bruce. If you were, again, being Batman, you would have noticed that this whole bar is stocked up with alcohol bottles, like I said. And it also smells in here of gasoline. And then, because Jason opens up a bottle as they're talking, puts it on the bar, and then goes over to Bruce. And he pulls out his gun and shoots at the bottle. And then there's a big explosion. Batman gets out of there. And then there's also Jason, but we see Jason climbing the stepladder into a helicopter. Right? Yeah, he went into a helicopter. Yep, it went into a helicopter. Batman certainly would have, but Bruce always quick to look the other way and make excuses for, again, the people he cares about. Yeah, it's I don't know, sorry, not a helicopter. It's just going up a fire escape. And then Batman says, he's been toying with me, with all of us. This is his revenge. He means to taunt us, wear us down. Then, when we least expected, go for the kill. Unless I kill him first. And then we see Batman like covering his face and looking through the fire. And then next, Red Hood's revenge. Because this chapter is actually, this title is actually called Red Sun Rising. Ooh. Okay, and that's where the issue ends. Okay, so first off, we got the cover. Now that's a lie. We don't have Dick Grayson appearing here, which would have been cool. But I do love seeing the Joker with his Joker fish. I love the Joker fish. And you see Batsy, and they're holding kind of the same rope for his Batarang and Jason's Red Hood ring, whatever. And then you got the Joker, of course. Oh, fuck. I dropped my pen. Okay, nice composition here. Of course, again, a bit lie with old Dick Grayson, but what do you expect? But other than that, very cool. Okay, let me show you a few pages of art. Okay, see, there's Jason, there's the Joker there, there's his Mr. Strength partner. Then you see he puts the hood on, and there's Mr. Strength. He had time to put on the suit and put the bow tie on as well. Or tie the bow tie, I should say. I'll show you just this one, that's it. And you see we're back in the Batcave. The Bruce says here, looks like Joker had a nightly visit, but it wasn't a friendly call. Jason Todd. Now, I don't know how we knew that. Maybe the fingerprints that were on the bullets. I imagine Jason purposefully left the gun there. I don't think he forgot it. I think he left it there to finally inform Bruce that he was there. Okay, now on to the story. So finally, we get to Jason after all these issues, because, in the first one he appears in the end. And throughout all of these he appeared, and I was wondering what was his end game? What did he want? So now it's obvious he wants revenge on, because he tells Bruce he's going to get the Joker, and then he has a list of people to get to still. Looks like he's planning to, I wonder if he's planning to kill, more villains, if he's planning really to kill Batman. Maybe he is, because Bruce says, he's toying with us, he's going to wear us down, and he's going to strike. But what does this mean? Is Bruce really going to kill him? Because Batman is against that. But what is he going to do against Jason, really? What can he do? Jason is determined that, he hates Bruce and he wants revenge. So he's going to get it. But then where's it going to continue? I guess it won't be really resolved, but will Jason walk away? Or will Bruce have to save him? As I know he wants to get to the Joker, but the Joker's not your average criminal here. Not even your average supervillain. He's insane, so who knows what he's planning. I mean, I imagine he's not going to be taken that easily, completely by surprise. So it's really left to be seen what's going to happen. Oh, I'm so excited. I was looking forward to see what Jason wants. And it's interesting that here it's different, because there Jason was killed by the Joker. Then, I don't know how it got that he was revived in the Lazarus Pit later on. But that's really what drove him insane, and then finding out that Bruce didn't kill the Joker. But here it's different. Something else happened, and it was Yeah, because in that original story, in the Death in the Family, yeah, Jason was more reckless, but he wasn't, this vicious like he is here, even as a kid. Because interesting, he had his brother, and yeah, you'd understand he would want revenge. But again, in the original story, the spoilers if you haven't read it, he does confront Two-Face, who was the one that killed his father, but he just lets him be sent to Arkham Asylum instead of killing him. So this version of him isn't as collected as it is in that age, as that one is. But again, this is different, obviously, and they made it for the animated series too, so I imagine they decided to change things. But other than that, I am looking forward to see what happens in issue 6. And holy shit, that's it. I got 3 more issues of this series left to read, and then I don't really know what then. I remember this one also being 12 issues, so I wonder if they cut it or what happened afterwards. Because if it was 12, because yeah, it's not like it was 8 plus 8 is 16, right? And it's not like it was, not like they cut it in the middle. So I'm not really sure. I hope it is 16, because I'm fucking shit at math, even sometimes that simple. But yeah, it's left to be seen. I think it's gonna be concluded, but yeah, since it's like different stories each time, except this whole thing with Jason, I think it could be wrapped up in 3 more issues. Yeah, not this one included, of course. But alright, folks, so that's it. Let me know what you thought of Batman The Adventures Continue Issue 5. And remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!